Green is out there with Mills, and it's Splitter in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's Aldridge. San Antonio with the rebound.
And the rebounding numbers don't actually tell the whole story. I mean, they're barely ahead in that category, but when they've needed them, they've gotten them. They've really battled hard.
It's their work on the glass, Steve, that's prevented any kind of momentum swing. You know, one thing you like about Aaron Aflalo, he's an outstanding post-up player for a guard. He's 6'5". He's got a real knack for scoring with his back to the bucket.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for San Antonio.
They've been the aggressors, and they've been tougher in the paint all game.
Something we've also seen them doing tonight is getting the long ball to go down. Big points from outside.
Lopez over to help, and the call will be against Robin Lopez. That is his first foul of the game. And for Aflalo, Steve, right around the top 5 in efficiency in the post in the entire NBA last season.
Yeah, and his sweet spot really extends on the court, not just from the post, but all the way to the corners. In fact, he loves to work the baseline, Kevin.
And the call will be against Robin Lopez. That'll be his second foul of the game. And the call will be against Robin Lopez. And that'll be his third foul so far. Leonard against Aflalo, and the officials call a traveling violation.
I don't know how they're in front right now. It's not easy to give the ball up as much as they have and still be ahead.
Yeah, we're talking double-digit turnovers in the first half. I mean, you can't just cough up the ball like that. They've got to improve on that in the second half.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
60 seconds off the clock here in the fourth. Now Mills, and it's a defensive 3-second violation. And the technical free throw is good.
You know, the Spurs, because of their way of conducting business and their low-key personality, have never really been ratings darlings for the NBA, despite being considered and respected as a model franchise in the league. The team's color of silver and black, I think, fits their style. It's not really flashy or gaudy, but it does point out their business-like approach, how precise they play and how much they win.
Leonard with the ball, now guarded by Aflalo. Doubled by Aflalo. And San Antonio has possession. Duncan kicks to Mills. Shot clock at 6. Here's Leonard. Good on the baseline, Jay. Leonard's got the lead up to 11 now for the Spurs.
And you look at the Spurs' lack of branding, if you will. It starts from the top down, from Coach Popovich to Tim Duncan. They don't court media attention. They're close to the vest. All business, all about winning.
Now a timeout called by Portland. And the Spurs look for a certain kind of player, Clark. I know you're interested in this. The players they get are uninterested in the spotlight. Pop calls them guys that have gotten over themselves.
That's a great way to phrase it, because they're others-focused and not self-focused. And that's something that really lends itself well in a culture which glamorizes the I and not the group. And you can see it in the Spurs. They are all about business, and all of the extra stuff is not what appeals to them. They're interested in winning and having fun and enjoying each other, and that's why they're a championship organization and team.
That's a good blueprint.
Yes, it is.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, over the break, I listened in on what Terry Stotts had to say in his huddle. He hasn't been happy with their shot selection. He told them, we're forcing things out there, guys. Space the floor, make the extra pass, work for the open shot in the flow of our offense. We'll see if they heed that advice, Kevin.
He put that lead pass in perfect position for his teammate.
Spurs leading by 11. Parker outside. Duncan kicks to Leonard. Lopez over to help, and the call will be against Robin Lopez. It's it for him. He's fouled out. Now we'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, he'll make the walk of shame back to the bench. He gets to watch the rest from the sideline.
Chris Kamen's checked in for the Trailblazers. No good on the free throw.
Kawhi Leonard has been talked about and mentioned as the future of this San Antonio Spurs team. 23 years old is all he is, and already a great defender and a much improved shooter from his days at San Diego State.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Leonard's checked in. Really left alone that time. That's now 8 points for Arron Afflalo.
They've gotten a bunch of good looks and have been absolutely lethal from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, you got to get some bodies out there defensively, though. I mean, things are way too easy out beyond the three-point arc.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out. These defenders are putting up very little resistance to the three-point shot.
And it's killing him. That's 4 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been three-pointers.
He's still looking for his first three-pointer of the second half after making just 1 in the first.
And it's Leonard again missing. Trailblazers trail by 6. Kicks it to Aldridge. Trailblazers moving the ball around. McCollum no good.
It's just been a brutal outing for him. He still hasn't managed to make a shot, and the team is struggling because of it. That was simply a defensive breakdown there, Kevin. He was all alone for that shot. It was a warm-up jumper.
Matthews into the lane. Kicks it out to Leonard. Afflalo outside. Takes a 3. It's rebounded by Leonard. Leonard's got rebound number 5 here tonight. No good off the front iron. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
San Antonio calls timeout. Spurs leading by 9. He kicks to Parker. He dishes it to Ginobili. Here's Leonard. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. And that's 19 points for Kawhi Leonard.
That's his first three-pointer of the half. Remember, he did make one in the first half as well.
Left side, Leonard. Using his post move to get the 2 points. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. The Trailblazers have gone 3 of 8 here in the fourth quarter. From deep Afflalo, Portland again missing. Here's San Antonio. Good momentum, 8 straight points. Parker with it. Picked up by Aldridge. From beyond the arc. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Well, going into last season, Tiago Splitter accepting a 4-year, $36 million extension, Steve, from the Spurs.
A lot of people question the value of that contract, but Splitter more than earned it with his play throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. He's versatile, he can pass, he can defend, and even though his numbers were down a little bit last year, he made tremendous impact just in terms of their interior play.
Back to Leonard. He feeds it to Parker. Rebound by the Trailblazers. Aldridge has got 11 rebounds in the game. Afflalo dishes to Leonard. And it's off from three-point range.
And Splitter clearly, when you look at him offensively, is not a floor spacer. He's a guy who's going to finish inside. He's going to set solid screens. Even though he plays close to the basket, his field goal percentage dropped by almost 10% over the last couple of seasons. He was once superb in that area. Now he's just rock solid. But with the Spurs, in his role, rock solid is good enough.
Splitter still shooting over 90% of his shots in the paint, but less effective down low. Injuries perhaps It's a factor. We'll see if he can bounce back.
C.J. McCollum, he's checked in for Portland. Blake comes in for Damian Lillard. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Baines is checked in. Diaw comes in for Duncan. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Leonard. And it's Mills in for Parker. And here's a follow for three. Rebounded by the Spurs.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's cost him.
And so here we go, just rolling along to the finish line in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Spurs.
Steve, I agree. And, I think the attitude was very impressive. And Clark, you had talked about this before the game. Definitely a competitive game, and they fought through it each step of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. They put a tremendous performance in terms of effort and intensity, and they deserve to win this one.
Boy, you relish these sorts of road games where you come in and you get the job done.
In a long schedule with the kinds of pressure of travel and tough opponents throughout the season, it's always good when you play a game like they have here.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. I mean, they have to get a hand in his face.
Mills can't hit. And for the Trailblazers, they're shooting in the fourth quarter down around 31%, not playing with as much energy here lately.
Looks like he's just trying to shoot his way out of this cold spell, but I don't know about that shot attempt.
Bellinelli. And there's the foul. It's on Nicholas Batum.
Shooting San Antonio, Patty Mills. 2 shots.
And that one misses. No luck that time either. Afflalo right side. Fires from deep. And Baines pulls it down. Bellinelli for three. Off target. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by.
Well, Timmy.
Yo, remember back on the bully when